Namaste and welcome to your own channel. How are you guys doing? So today we'll be deep diving into the most powerful concept of the astrology is the 10th house and Lord from the Dasha Lord. This video we will cover why the 10th house and Lord becomes very important from the Dasha Lord, and we will cover several different concepts of why the 10th house is important, what importance and what results it will going to give you from your Dasha Lord, and why Dasha Lord is important and why the 10th from the Dasha is important. You have seen multiple times 10th house from your Lagan, 10th house from your moon sign, but 10th house from the Dasha Lord is very important, and that is what we are going to discuss in today's video. So we will cover a lot of different things in this video, so please watch this video till the end, because we are going to cover a lot of concepts, and we are also going to cover some real life case studies to see how these concepts will going to apply. I will show you and give you some examples also towards the end, like how we can check if some planet is sitting in the some Dasha Lord is sitting somewhere, and from 10th from it would be some other planet sign or some whatever the things are, and how we can see the results. Okay, so let's start the video. So first of all, we all know what is 10th house. So 10th house represents your career, profession, public reputation. ये सब चीज़ें दिखाता है आपका 10th house. It shows how the world sees you and what you are known for is indicated by the 10th house. Alright. 10th house के key significance क्या क्या होते हैं? What are the key significance of 10th house? First of all, it represents your career and profession. Second, your social status and reputation, right? And third, indicates your relationship with authority figures, particularly your father or father figure in the life, right? All these things are represented by or shown by the 10th house. Next, it represents your action and responsibilities in the society. I think in the last video also I've told you that 10th house is not only about the duties towards your career, it is the overall duties and responsibilities you will going to perform in your life, right? So 10th from any house becomes very important for that particular house, because that is the karma of that house or the karma of that planet. If you want to see how or what karma Mars will be going to play in your life, then you should see the 10th from where your Mars is sitting. ठीक है? So इसी तरीके से आज हम बात कर रहे हैं दशा लॉर्ड से 10th, और वो क्यों इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है. क्योंकि दशा हमारा होता है ना कि दशा इज़ वेरी important event of our life, because it goes for at least for 6 years like Sun until maximum of 20 years of Venus, right? So this is how the Dasha is very important. 10th house is also a केंद्र हाउस. ये आपका केंद्र हाउस होता है 10th हाउस. तो किसी भी प्लैनेट से अगर आप देखोगे, अगर आप सपोज आप 5th हाउस से देखते हो, ठीक है, तो आपका सेकंड हाउस इज़ योर 10th हाउस. सो यहाँ से 5th हाउस से दिस हाउस इज़ द केंद्र. ओके, जैसे आपका लगन से दिस इज़ योर केंद्र. सो 5th हाउस से सेकंड हाउस इज़ केंद्र. So if suppose the planet sitting in the 5th house, the dasha of the planet sitting in the 5th house is going on, then the 10th from the 5th is second house. So you have to check the sign and the planet sitting in the second house to see what kind of a karma, what results in your career you will going to get from this. Okay. So this is how we are going to interpret it. Now see, you all know what is dasha, right? Dasha is the most powerful predictive tools in the astrology, because from Dasha only, Dasha से ही हम लोग ये predict करते हैं. Suppose you are running through Venus महादशा and Jupiter अंतरदशा, तो उन दोनों दशा को आप लोग जाके चेक करोगे, देखोगे जुपिटर और वीनस आपके कहाँ बैठे हैं, कौन से साइन गवर्न कर रहे हैं, अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल गिव द प्रोडिक्शंस. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडिक्शंस आर गिवन बाय दशा और ट्रांजिट्स. इफ यू हैव टू सी सम इवेंट्स इन समवन्स लाइफ, दैट इज हाउ यू see the events, right? So Dasha is the most powerful predictive tool. Now think Dasha as a clock which determines the certain events likely to unfold in your life. Means that every Dasha, every planet has its own time period. So during that time period you will going to see majorly the results of Mahadasha planet Then in between you will see the different Antardasha planet and results of those. As we all know, Sun rules for 6 years, Moon rules for 10 years, Mars rules for 7 years, Rahu and Ketu, they both rules for around 18 years, Jupiter for 16, Saturn 19 years, Mercury 17 years, and Venus for 20 years. So that is how the Dasha or the Dasha period is about for different planets. Now, what is the importance of Dasha Lord? See, the planet that rules their current Dasha period is known as Dasha Lord. जो भी planet आपका, अब suppose आपका ये देखो, अब जैसे हमने बात की थी कि फिफ्थ लॉर्ड में आपका फिफ्थ हाउस में आपका वीनस बैठा हुआ है और वीनस की दशा चल रही है, राइट? तो वीनस की दशा चल रही है, तो वीनस इज योर दशा लॉर्ड फॉर दैट 20 years. That is what the Dasha Lord is. This planet is very, very important. Why? Because during its ruling period, regardless of its placement or strength in the chart, it will going to give the results accordingly, right? So for example, you are going through Venus Mahadasha. So I'm not talking about whether Venus is sitting strong in your chart or whether Venus is sitting weak in your chart. Basically, when you will going to run Venus Mahadasha, you will going to get results according to what is Venus nature. Somewhat this will be changed, but the basic results Venus will give according to the Venus natures. In Saturn Dasha, why people mostly struggle is because Saturn nature is to teach people lesson or to make people work hard. That is why people always criticize Saturn Dasha, because nobody likes to do hard work, right? Similarly, in Venus Dasha, mostly things are very cool, like Jupiter Dasha, so people like those kind of dashas like Jupiter and Venus. Alright, so this is what about the Dasha Lord. Now, what is this concept of from the Dasha Lord, right? Because we will now be talking that we are seeing 10th from the Dasha Lord. Dasha Lord से हम 10th house या 10th Lord या 10th house में जो planet बैठा है उसके बारे में बात करें. So what is this concept of why we are taking this from the Dasha Lord? In the Vedic astrology, we can view the entire birth chart from the perspective of any planet, not just from the ascendant. And what this technique is called? This is called Bhavat Bhavam, or house from house. So basically, it is not that every time we have to see, obviously from Lagan we see all these things because we are checking from ourselves. Lagan is what you, right? From you are checking all the different houses. But from 5th house, suppose your Venus Dasha is going on, Venus is sitting in the 5th house. Now if you want to see what is the 4th house from Venus, this would be this house. That is your Pisces sign, right? Now we have to see what is the 7th house. So 7th house from this would be Gemini. 10th house from this would be Virgo. So accordingly we can see the whole chart from this particular planet, and what we can do is, and you should do that, if you want to analyze the Dasha Lord and the things, how this Dasha will going to give you the results, तो इसके लिए आप क्या कर सकते हो? The best technique for this is that you should make the planet in which the Dasha Lord is, the house in which the Dasha Lord is sitting, you should make that house as a first house. Means that you should make it as a Lagan. मतलब जैसे अभी इसको हम एक काम करते हैं, इसको हटा देते हैं सबको. सपोज आपका वीनस यहाँ पे बैठा हुआ है, ठीक है, आपकी वीनस की दशा चल रही है. तो अब इस चार्ट को आप कैसे देख सकते हो? What you should do is that make this your first house. Means rather than this, put 9 and Venus here, then 10, 11, 12, 1 and so on till this, which would be 8th, right? And now you can see, okay, now my Venus is sitting in my first house, which is the Dasha Lord. Now from Venus, where is Mars sitting? So Mars may be sitting in the 4th house, right? So then you will see, like you see in your ascendant chart कि 4th house किन किन चीज़ों के लिए होता है. Similarly, you will see how is the 4th Lord, or what is the condition of the 4th Lord from the Dasha Lord. So you will get to know what kind of a vehicle, land, peace, your relationship with your mother you are going to get in this Dasha. How emotionally you will be, because 4th house is what about emotion, because 4th house natural ruler is Moon. So it is all about your emotions and happiness. So how emotional you will be during this period can be seen from the 4th house. Now your overall career will be seen from the 10th house from your लगन, ठीक है. बट अगर आपको देखना है कि ड्यूरिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर दशा how your career will be, or will there be any changes in the career, because many people may see that okay, they are working in one profession but all of a sudden they change their profession during some time period. Why this happens? Because they have a dasha change, and during that dasha, if you see the 10th house from that dasha lord, you will see that it will signifying some other career or some change in the career or change in the job or some different role, or maybe sometime it is very negative and it can take your job away, right? It's like in this case, if we see the 10th from the 9th from the Venus, the 10th would be Virgo, right? So where is Mercury sitting? What is the condition of Mercury? That you have to see for that Venus dasha period. And if there is any planet sitting in there, then you will apply your own same rules what you are applying when you are seeing it from your lagan, right? Because lagan is giving you the picture for your overall life, but during those different dasha period it will going to change depending upon what dasha you are running through and how much time period that dasha will be. सो बहुत सिंपल सी बात है कि अब आपको वीनस की दशा में देखना है कि आपका करियर कैसा रहेगा. तो आप वीनस से 10th हाउस देखो और उसमें देखो कि मरकरी की कंडीशन कैसी है, मरकरी कहाँ पे बैठा हुआ है. क्या मरकरी आपका 8th हाउस में डेबिलिटेट होकर बैठा हुआ है, तो डेफिनेटली आपको फिर वैसे रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे आपके करियर के लिए. या मरकरी आपका 10th हाउस में एक्सल्टेड होकर बैठा हुआ है, तो आपको उसके रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे, ठीक है. सो दिस इज़ हाउ वी शुड सी the 10th house from the dasha lord, and that is why it becomes very important. ठीक है. तो मैंने आपको बताया कि why this concept is also crucial for prediction. I hope you understand. और ये सिर्फ 10th हाउस के लिए नहीं, आप और भी किसी हाउस का निकाल लो. We will cover those videos also for different houses, but again you can actually make or do the analysis for any house, not just the 10th house from your dasha lord. If you want to see related to marriage, you should see 7th from the dasha lord, not just 7th from the lagan or 7th from the moon. Those should also be seen, but this should also be seen. तीनों चीज़ों में जिस दिन चीज़ की सिमिलैरिटी आ जाएगी आपकी, मैक्सिमम चांस होंगे कि वो इवेंट आपका अकर होगा, ठीक है. अच्छा, अभी नेक्स्ट चीज़ क्या होती है कि क्यों हम 10th फ्रॉम एनी प्लैनेट शोज इट्स कर्मा, ठीक है. हम बोलते हैं ना कि कर्मा क्यों दिखाता है, 10th हाउस से क्यों दिखा रहा है. सी एवरी 10th हाउस क्या होता है, देखो 10th हाउस फ्रॉम एनी प्लैनेट शोज दैट प्लैनेट एक्सप्रेस हाउ द प्लैनेट विल गोइंग टू एक्सप्रेस इटसेल्फ इन द वर्ल्ड. इट्स कर्मा, पब्लिक मैनिफेस्टेशन, कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन, ठीक है. अब इसको आप ऐसे देखो कि हर प्लैनेट आपके चार्ट में एक स्टोरी बताता है अपनी, ठीक है, कि वो क्या करने के लिए आया, क्या आपकी लाइफ में वो रिजल्ट्स देगा. अब 10th फ्रॉम दैट प्लैनेट शोज दैट हाउ दैट स्टोरी गोइंग टू प्ले आउट इन पब्लिक स्फेयर, क्योंकि 10th हाउस इज अबाउट पब्लिक, राइट. तो वो तो अपनी आपकी एक ओवरऑल लाइफ हो गई जिसमें आपका एक 10th हाउस हो गया, जो आपका 10th हाउस बता रहा है कि वहाँ पर आपका क्या पब्लिकली इमेज होगी, रेपुटेशन होगी, आपका रोल होगा, करियर होगा, सब कुछ. नाउ व्हेन दिस प्लैनेट दशा कम्स इन, इसकी भी तो अपनी एक स्टोरी है ना. It has its own story to tell. So 10th from it will be going to tell that how that story will look in front of the people or in front of the whole world, right? You know, sometimes what happens is that during one planet dasha you are doing very well. Like take an example of a normal person working in a IT company, that its career is going very well. He's getting promotions, pay hikes, everything. Suddenly the dasha changes and some other planet comes in. Two things can happen. Either that person can go more up, or suddenly what happens that this person loses job and maybe they get some bad name to their reputation. Why does this happen? Because that planet is actually going to play its own story, but how it is coming in front of other people or the world is the 10th house from it. So we have to see what is the 10th house from the dasha lord to make sure that how we are going to do and how public will going to interpret, or how our reputation will going to be in front of public during this dasha. That is why 10th from any planet shows its karma, and 10th from the dasha lord becomes very important. Okay, see, as I've told you previously that 10th from natal and 10th from dasha is different, totally different. Why? Because 10th from natal, what do you mean by natal is, natal means from Lagan, your 10th house. So that 10th house is showing you the overall picture of your life, how your career, reputation and things will be at a very high level, right? But it has multiple phases as your life will go on, and those phases, it has multiple phases as your life will go on, and those phases will be shown from the 10th house of the dasha lord, right? See, if a person has a lifespan of 80-90 years, he will have to go under through different planet mahadasha. So it is not possible that in all planet your career will remain same, or anything in the life will remain same. Mostly, I'm not saying 100%, but mostly it will be having some changes. So those changes is because of the planets behaving differently while sitting in different position in your chart. And especially if it relates to career, then you have to see the 10th house from that planet to make sure that how it will going to behave and what results you guys will going to get. Okay, so that is the major difference between 10th from natal and 10th from your dasha lord. Okay, so now as I've told you that I will going to discuss some case studies with you guys, so let's take that. Okay, so let me just take this away. I'm making this as a Libra ascendant, okay, for this particular case study. Okay, so this person is Libra ascendant and they are going through Mercury Mahadasha, and now Mercury is sitting in their 9th house in its own sign, right? So now if you see, 10th from the Mercury is the 6th house, and if you calculate that, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, this is the 10th house, and Jupiter is sitting in this house, and this is the 10th from the dasha lord which is Mercury. So ये Mercury से 10th है, ना कि आपके लगन से. लगन से तो 6th ही है, so इसमें कंफ्यूज मत होना, ठीक है. अब Jupiter is sitting in the 6th house. So what is 6th house? 6th house is about service, daily work and overcoming obstacles, right? Now Jupiter, यहाँ से अगर आप देखोगे तो Jupiter आपके 10th हाउस को भी एस्पेक्ट कर रहा है, जो आपका नॉर्मल लगन वाला 10th हाउस है. 1 2 3 4 5 इसको भी एस्पेक्ट करेगा, ठीक. एंड इट इज़ द लॉर्ड ऑफ व्हाट हाउस? द 3rd हाउस एंड द 6th हाउस. 3rd हाउस का भी लॉर्ड है, और 3rd हाउस हमारा क्या होता है? 3rd हाउस इज़ अबाउट स्किल्स, राइट, एंड इनिशिएटिव, करेज. 3rd हाउस इज़ अबाउट नेबर्स, शॉर्ट डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल, ऑल दोज थिंग्स. अब व्हाट हैपन्स मरकरी दशा में क्या होता है? ये जो पर्सन है, दे ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम अ कॉर्पोरेट जॉब टू बिकमिंग अ टीचर एंड कंसल्टेंट. अब ये हुआ क्यों? आप ये देखो, ये अच्छा खासा एक जॉब कर रहे थे कॉर्पोरेट में, एंड जैसे ही मरकरी दशा स्टार्ट हुई उसके कुछ टाइम बाद ही ये एक टीचर और कंसल्टेंट बन गए. अब ये हुआ कैसे? आप देखो, मरकरी की दशा ही, मरकरी कहाँ बैठा है? 9th हाउस में, ठीक है. सो 9th हाउस में मरकरी बैठा हुआ है. अब 9th हाउस आपका है क्या? हायर नॉलेज, राइट, it is related to higher knowledge. Now Mercury, how Mercury will going to express itself? From the 10th house, right, where Jupiter is sitting. Jupiter is the planet of what? Teaching and expansion. So जैसे ही Mercury की दशा शुरू हुई हायर नॉलेज की, मतलब हायर नॉलेज हो गई यहाँ पे आपकी Mercury. और Mercury है क्या? Mercury is about communication, consultation, teaching में communication is important, right? You talk to people, you teach people. And Jupiter is the planet of teaching and expansion, ठीक है. 6th house is the house of service, or service to others rather, I would say. And teaching is what? Teaching and consultation is service, giving services to others. So Mercury की दशा में 9th हाउस में बैठ के, जो कि हायर एजुकेशन, हायर इंटेलिजेंस का हाउस है, वहाँ पे Mercury बीइंग द प्लानट ऑफ कम्युनिकेशंस एंड स्किल्स, वो किस प्रोफेशन में चले गए? टीचिंग में और कंसल्टेंसी में, जो कि जुपिटर से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. एंड जुपिटर अगेन बीइंग द लॉर्ड ऑफ 3rd हाउस विच इज़ द हाउस ऑफ व्हाट? स्किल्स, कम्युनिकेशन, ठीक है, टीचिंग, सर्विस टू अदर्स. 6th हाउस, तो ये चेंज हो गया। अब अगर आप ये चेंज को सिर्फ 10th हाउस से देख रहे हो, ठीक है, और लगन से देखोगे तो इट इज़ नॉट एविडेंट, बिकॉज 10th हाउस इज़ व्हाट, मून, कैंसर है आपका। आप मून की प्लेसमेंट देखोगे, कैंसर साइन को देखोगे, उससे ऐसा कुछ नहीं पता लगने वाला, ठीक है। मैं आपको बता दूं, मून इनका 11th हाउस में बैठा है, तो इससे कुछ नहीं पता लगेगा। बट जैसे ही मरकरी से आपने 10 देखा, आपको समझ में आ गया कि ये चेंज क्यों होगा। सो दिस इज़ हाउ यू गाइज गोइंग टू चेक, एंड दिस इज़ हाउ इट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ये कैसे चेंज होता है, ठीक है। ओके, सो लेट्स टेक वन मोर एग्जाम्पल through which I will explain you that how these concepts work. Let me change the details. So now I'm taking this as Aries. So for Aries it would be okay. So now for Aries, this person was going through a Venus Mahadasha, and Venus was sitting in 3rd house. So if you see from 10th from the Venus would be 12th. You can count the direction, count the numbers, and 10th from the Venus would become 12th house, whose lord is Jupiter, and their Jupiter was sitting in the 9th house in Sagittarius. So if you see, first of all, what do you see in this? A simple basic thing, that first of all your third house lord Dasha, not third house lord, but the planet sitting in the 3rd house, Dasha is going on. So something related to 3rd house first of all will be going to take place in overall life. Now right now I'm talking about overall life, not just the career, right? So 3rd house will become the most important house in their life for those particular 20 years. Now when we come to 10th house, which is the house of career, that goes to 12th house. So now what is 12th house? 12th house is about spirituality, is about foreign lands, foreign distance travel, right? Your investments, your sleep disorders, bed pleasures, all those things, right? So now, and what's the planet ruling the 12th house? Is Jupiter, which is sitting in the 9th house, again in a very good position. So we also have to see where the lord is sitting, what is the position of that lord. Then we will see that the career during this time would be stable. Right now people can say, oh, this is the 12th house, but no, this is not the 12th house, this is the 10th house. Though it is the 12th house from Lagan, but it is the 10th house from the Dasha Lord. So now during this time what happened, this person went on to foreign for around, I think, period of 4 or 5 years, and they have done tremendously well over there. So it's not that whole 20 years person will be going to stay outside India or outside their birthplace or going to foreign lands to work and all those, but yes, they can go for some time depending upon their dasha and all those things, and depending upon their other planetary positions. But yes, they went to the foreign land for 4 or 5 years, and they have earned a lot during that period. That period was the very, very successful period of his life, because Jupiter is sitting in its own Mool Trikon sign in the 9th house, again a trine house, and it is also aspecting your first house Lagan, and most importantly it is aspecting your Dasha Lord, right? So 10th house Lord from the Dasha Lord is aspecting the Dasha. You've seen that it is the 10th house and it is also aspecting your Dasha Lord. So that is why it is giving much more, making this Dasha Lord much more powerful in terms of the career. And during this Venus Dasha 20 year, this person has rise multiple factors too in its career. They have grown tremendously during this 20 years because this Dasha was very, very good for career. But overall, if you see this chart, the Dasha Lord, the 10th house is Saturn, right? And Saturn was sitting okay in his chart, right? But how this 20 years, nobody will going to know just looking at the Saturn or other things in the chart that during the Venus Dasha this person will going to rise. Only when you see the 10th from the Dasha Lord, you will get to know some picture. So that is why this concept is very, very important. I hope after these two examples you guys get some clarity of it. Okay, so now I will going to tell you few things, few parameters, like how you can see the strong placement of the 10th house Lord from your Dasha Lord. Like in this case, you see that 10th lord is Jupiter, and Jupiter is sitting in the 9th house in its own sign. So this is a very a strong 10th lord, so which gives a good career, and it is also aspecting the Dasha lord. So now the strong placement indicators are if planet is sitting in its own sign or exaltation, जो हमने बात कर ली है, अगर ऐसा है तो फेवरेबल हाउसेस कौन कौन से हो सकते हैं, 1 2 4 5 7 9 10 11। इन हाउसेस में अगर आपका 10th लॉर्ड जाके बैठ गया है, ठीक है, 10th लॉर्ड फ्रॉम दशा, नॉट द ओरिजिनल 10th लॉर्ड बट 10th लॉर्ड फ्रॉम द दशा लॉर्ड, अगर वो आपका 1 2 4 5 7 9 10 11 इनमें से किसी में बैठा हुआ है तो बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट्स देगा। अगर उसके ऊपर वीनस और जुपिटर का कोई पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट आ रहा है तो वो भी बहुत अच्छी बात है, ठीक है। कंबस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए, इट शुड नॉट कंबस्ट, इट शुड नॉट रेट्रोग्रेड और अदरवाइज एफ्लिक्टेड, कोई और एफ्लिक्शन नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है। अगर 10th लॉर्ड आपका दशा लॉर्ड से अगर अच्छा बैठा हुआ है तो आपको डेफिनेटली करियर रिलेटेड, मैंने जैसे बताया इस चार्ट में मैंने ऐसे ही है, यू विल गेट मच करियर एडवांसमेंट एंड रिकॉग्निशंस, सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द अथॉरिटी फिगर्स, चांसेस जो कि अच्छे होते हैं, फाइनेंशियल रिवॉर्ड्स आपको मिलते हैं, स्टेबिलिटी एंड ग्रोथ इन योर करियर। नाउ वीक क्या होगा, अगर प्लैनेट बैठा है डेबिलिटेटेड और एनिमी साइन में, ऑब्वियसली इन एनी चैलेंजिंग हाउसेज लाइक 6th 8th और 12th हाउस में बैठा हुआ है, अगर उसको कोई मेलेफिक एस्पेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं तो, कंबस्ट रेट्रोग्रेड है तो, ठीक है, या फिर वो नेचुरली मेलेफिक जो प्लैनेट्स होते हैं उनके साथ एसोसिएट है तो डेफिनेटली कहीं ना कहीं थोड़े बहुत उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी। अब सपोज़ करो एक एग्जांपल आपका हो सकता है कि आपका जो दशा लॉर्ड है, ठीक है, उससे जो 10th है, सो वो 10th लॉर्ड आपका 2 प्लैनेट के साथ बैठा हुआ है, एक मेलेफिक है और एक बेनेफिक है, तो डेफिनेटली वो दोनों अपने अपने रिजल्ट्स देंगे एंड दैट दशा विल गोइंग टू बी ए सॉर्ट ऑफ मिक्स ड्यूरिंग योर करियर, विल गोइंग टू बी हैव अ मिक्स इफेक्ट ड्यूरिंग दैट दशा, ठीक है। तो ये चीज़ें आपको थोड़ा सा एनालिसिस करनी पड़ेंगी अपने आप देख के, बट इससे आपको एक्चुअल पिक्चर नज़र आएगी। और ऑब्वियसली अगर आपका 10th लॉर्ड वीक है तो यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट ऑब्स्टिकल्स और डिलेज इन प्रोग्रेस, कन्फ्लिक्ट्स विद सुपरवाइजर्स, ठीक है, फाइनेंशियल चैलेंजेस आएंगे, इंस्टेबिलिटी अनसर्टेनिटी आएगी करियर पाथ में, ये सब चीज़ें होने के चांस हैं, ठीक। अच्छा, नाउ द लास्ट थिंग व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल यू, अगर इफ व्हाट डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ प्लैनेट विल गोइंग टू शो द रिजल्ट्स ऑन दैट 10th लॉर्ड, अगर आपके 10th लॉर्ड पे जो डिफरेंट हमारे प्लैनेट्स हैं अगर उनके एस्पेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं तो कैसे कैसे रिजल्ट्स दे सकते हैं, नॉट नेसेसरली हमेशा ऐसे होंगे बट इन जनरल आई एम टेलिंग यू। सो इफ जुपिटर इज एक्सपेक्टिंग योर 10th लॉर्ड फ्रॉम योर दशा लॉर्ड, तो ऑब्वियसली जुपिटर इज द प्लैनेट ऑफ एक्सपेंशन, तो इट विल ब्रिंग एक्सपेंशन, विजडम और एथिकल ग्रोथ टू योर करियर। If Venus is aspecting, it will brings harmony, creativity and beneficial relationships. If Mercury is aspecting, then that will going to bring communication skills, adaptability and intellectual recognition, all these things, whatever Mercury signifies. If Sun is aspecting your 10th lord, then it will going to bring leadership, opportunities, visibility and authority. If Moon is aspecting, it will bring public support, emotional fulfillment and in some cases it can give popularity also, but it totally depends on lot of factors. Mars, it brings energy, courage and competitive advantages. Saturn aspect brings discipline, responsibility and long-term stability if it is not afflicted otherwise, but all these aspects can be different if there are some more affliction or negative aspects or malefic things to your career lord from your dasha lord, okay. Rahu aspects will bring ambition, innovation, all these things. केतु का aspect जो होगा वो specialization लाता है, research abilities and spiritual dimensions. All these things will be you can see from different planet aspecting your career lord from your dasha lord. Sometimes there would be no aspect, all right, and there would be no conjunctions also. That can also happen. Then you have to see the individual planet result and how this planet is sitting. Okay, so this is how you're going to interpret. So guys, this is my analysis of 10th lord from your dasha lord and your 10th house. I hope you like this video. So this video will going to help you understand that how you can look your birth chart from the other perspective, not just from your Lagan or your moon sign. You can also check it from your, and not you should also check it from your Dasha Lord. Make your Dasha Lord as your first house, and then see different houses and how those houses will going to impact your life during that particular Dasha period. Either it is 6 years of Sun or 20 years of Venus, doesn't matter. But you should definitely check it, because this will going to show you some different dimensions of how your life will be during that particular Dasha. Alright, obviously you should not leave looking at Lagan and moon sign, but along with them, looking from your Dasha Lord is also very important. So alright guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button, share the video, comment on this video if you have any questions, or tell me which Dasha you are going through and where it is sitting, so we can discuss it in the comment section. And also share the video and hit the like button. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.